how can we worry less? Especially at times like this, it seems like there's just so much to worry about. None of us know what the future holds. We, don't know what's going to happen in a couple of weeks. We don't know what's going to happen to our jobs, our businesses, our loved ones. There just seems to be so much at the moment to worry about. And we all know the effect that worrying has on us. It's a type of stress on our body. It's lots of thinking that we're doing. And I had a client recently who said, she never got any peace in her head because she was just worrying so much. It didn't matter what she did. Her mind was just always so busy. It was so filled with worry. So what is worry? Well, fundamentally, worry is thinking, isn't it? It's the thoughts that we have in our head about something. But what I find when we're worrying, we tend to be either worrying about something in the future, worrying about something that we've done in the past and how that's going to impact us somehow into the future, worrying about what other people are thinking, either of us or about what something's happened and how that's going to impact us into the future. So there's always an element, if you like, of some futurizing, for want of a better word, about worry. It's always something not about what's happening now, right now. It's about something about what's going to happen, that we're chewing over and worrying about. In my mind, there are two elements to worry that is really useful to remember as well. The first bit is the initial worry thought, and the second bit is all the thinking we do about that thought. Now, the first bit is really, really important. That initial worry thought that pops into our head. So but what if? That's a great one to start with. But I would say most worry thoughts are, but what if, what if, what if, what if, what if? And we get fired off into a particular direction, don't we? And it's like a vortex. It's like a worry vortex, and it kind of sucks us right in. Now, if we just stop at that one thought that pops into our minds and explore just for a moment about what can that thought tell us? What is that thought trying to do? Well, often that thought is trying to predict the future in some way. Right? It's projecting us into the future. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? And it's trying to give us a scenario that we've then got to work out whether we're going to be okay or not. So it's not now. It's at a future time that hasn't happened. And how often, right, even before the situation we all find ourselves in at the moment, how often have you worried and worried and worried about something and thought up every single computation and scenario you possibly could, only to find that when that moment in time arrived, none of those things happened and you were absolutely okay? And it was like, oh, I just don't know what I was worried about. I don't know why I had all those sleepless nights about it. Because I'm okay, it's fine, it's happened and it's done. And often at times like that, when we've gone through those, what we don't notice, or we don't really pay an awful lot of attention to, but it's worth paying attention to, is, oh, I did all that worry and none of that worry had any information in that was helpful to me. Like, none of that was helpful. Like it couldn't tell me anything, right? And all of that worry that we did, right, started with one thought. It just started with one thought that couldn't tell us anything. One thought that had no information in it, no facts in it, nothing that was helpful. So why that's worth noticing is because when we do get a worry thought, and we know it's a worry thought because we get a feeling with it, don't we? Like we know we're worried. We know it's a worry thought. Yeah. When we get that thought, it's worth remembering, oh, these kinds of thoughts, they don't have any information in it. They're not helpful. They're not helpful to me. And even noticing that we get to choose which thoughts we pay attention to. So which thoughts we can find helpful and not find helpful. I mean, there was a time when I thought every thought in my head was helpful. So if I was doing a worry thought, I thought that was really helpful. So I would really pay attention to it. So realizing that, oh, those thoughts aren't helpful, like they don't have any information in it and they don't help me in any way. They literally just clutter at my mind. So I can't really think about anything else. They make me feel bad. Noticing that enabled me to let those thoughts go, right? And that's what thoughts do. They literally pop in one ear and come out the other. Like if we don't pay attention to them, they simply move on and another thought takes its place. And that's the other part of worry, which enables us to not even go into the vortex of worry, is notice how much of a willing participant we are in the creation of worry. Like how much we create the worry, like willingly. And when we notice that, oh, I just had that worry thought, but I'm not going to pay attention to it, move on. Right? Move on, start doing something else, just distract your mind, just move on from it. And we don't have to have a conversation with it. We don't have to think, oh my goodness, yes, that could happen. Or, oh no, they were thinking about this. Or, oh, I shouldn't have done that because now this is going to happen. Like we don't even have to go there. We can literally walk past that vortex and not do any extra thinking at all. Like no extra worry thinking. Right? And what this does is it frees our minds up. It creates space. And when we have space in our minds, that's when often we have a really good idea. You know, that's when we come up with a solution. That's when we have some fresh thinking about it or perspective about it. We think about things differently. And it enables us to really see our situation with much more clarity than we did before. And then it enables us when we have more space and more calm and more ease, we have so much less worry. And it then makes less sense to get sucked into the worry thinking because our life seems a little bit easier when we're not worrying. And just imagine that if you just had a little bit more space and clarity in your minds right now, what difference would that make?